Broad steps. Create a web page layout using HTML.
To design a fairly simple layout, open the text editor. Save the file with the .html or .html extension. Add the HTML code to the text editor window. Run the HTML document in your web browser. Designing a web page layout is a cardinal part of a web designer's job. In this tutorial, I will walk you through some basic concepts for using HTML to create a web page layout. Let me start by explaining what is HTML. HTML, the full form Hypertext Markup Language, is the most commonly used markup language. As we move along, you will get a stronger grasp on the key terms commonly used in the HTML. So let's get started. Today I am going to create an HTML file using the Notepad. An HTML file is a text file, so you can use just about any text editor. There are many HTML editors available like Adobe Dreamweaver, Microsoft Expression Web, Coffee Cup HTML editor, etc. For now, I'm going to use the Notepad. To open the Notepad, I click on the Start icon, then on All Programs, Accessories, and select Notepad from the menu. The Notepad window appears, opening a blank document. Before I begin writing my code, I'm going to save my file. To do this, I go to the Save As option in the File menu and browse to the directory I want to save my document in. Here, I have created a new folder titled Demo. As you can see, I have saved my document with a .html extension. Alternatively, I could have also saved it with a .html extension. Now, the saved file can be opened in any web browser to execute the HTML code. I am going to use the Internet Explorer to preview my work. Coming back to the Notepad, I start by typing HTML enclosed in angle brackets. These angle brackets are the less than and greater than signs on your keyboard. Now, I'm going to jump down a couple of lines and type a / followed by HTML and enclose this as well in angle brackets. These are called tags. Tags are the keywords that make up the HTML language. They carry instructions that tell the web browser what to do, rather than simply throw the text on the screen. HTML tags normally come in pairs like these. The first tag in a pair is the opening tag. The latter tag is the closing tag. The end tag is written just like the start tag with a / before the tag name. By convention, all HTML tags begin and close with angle brackets. The text that appears between these angle brackets is called the element. The element describes what kind of tag this is. Here, I have used the HTML tag which tells the web browser that it is an HTML file. As a result, the tag on the top opens the HTML element, with this element at the bottom closes the HTML. All the HTML codes resides between these two tags. Let us understand the basic layout of a web page. Any HTML program has two prominent parts or sections, the head and the body of the page to be created. The head acts as a header and contains information about the title of the page. The body section is the look and feel of the web page. It is the body that we create using HTML tags. I am now creating the title tag inside the header tag. I have simply titled it Website Layout. Before we move ahead, let us take a moment to recall the web page I showed you in the beginning. Can you see the multiple columns formatted like a magazine or newspaper? A simple way of creating this kind of a layout is by using the HTML table tag. Tables let you position all the elements of the web page. Tables are defined by the table tag, which is divided into rows by using the TR tag, and each row is further divided into columns defined by the TD tag. These are like the tables in a word processor, just a rectangular arrangement of rows and columns. You put all the elements of the page like the header graphic, navigation bar, content, ads, etc. into different cells. So, are you keen on using tables in your web page layout? It's really quite simple. To understand how the HTML table works, I thought it is important to show you what the table looks like when the web browser is displaying it, so that you can visualize what it's going to look like when we get the code done finally. Each row is divided into data cell defined by the TD tag. TD stands for Table Data and holds the content of a data cell. Let us look at the other attributes of the table. Each table has a border which can be controlled by the border attribute. In this case, I want the table to be displayed without borders, so I have set the border value to 0. To control the distance between the adjacent cells, we use the cell spacing attribute. I have set the value to 0 as I do not want any space between the cells. Whereas, did you notice the distance between the data in the cell and the boundaries of the cell? This can be managed by the cell padding attribute. In the layout, I have adjusted the cell padding value to 0 as the default cell padding value is otherwise 1. You can control the horizontal alignment by the Align attribute. I have aligned the table in the center of the web browser. You can also define the complete table width by using Width attribute. You can give the width attribute a pixel or percentage to define the complete end-to-end width of the table. Next, I have inserted a number of rows and columns using the TR and TD tag. Did you notice how in the third row I have inserted 3 columns by using multiple TD tags? Make sure you are using tabs while writing all your code. as it will become more complicated and difficult to read as your document gets longer. I am going to continue by naming all the cells one by one. Here, I have named the first cell Header. The second cell is titled Menu Bar, and so on and so forth. As you can see on the web browser screen, I have merged all the table cells in the first, second and the last row. Wondering how I did this? Well, I have used the callspan attribute inside the TD tags to merge all the columns or merge just two columns. I have used other attributes like height to define the height of the cell, and BG color to define the background color. I have kept it pretty simple. You can go ahead and get your creativity flowing. So here we go. We have the full web page layout code. Now we are going to do one more thing before we close out. This is save the document once again. Do you want to see what the final lookout looks like? Let me just open the folder containing the HTML document. Finally, I double-click on the HTML document and here we are.